Welcome back to the Crochet Crowd as well as Yarnspirations.com. I'm your host Mikey. Today we're going to work on the Valentine's Throw. This is an older pattern available on Yarnspirations.com featuring Patons Decor yarn. You can use any size crochet hook and any type of yarn as long as they complement each other in order to make this afghan. So today I'm going to show you how to make this. So let's look at the pattern quite quickly. There's only 5 rounds that you can see here. All of the instructions are different colors available here because of the motifs, and if you notice the motif colors follow up on a diagonal. So if you look at page number 2, you can see that it has the schematic on how things go together, but also the colors in order to make it work. So you see that 7 goes all the way up like so, and then you got 8, and so it's very strategic in how it's done. If you would like something more random, just assemble it any way that you wish, and then you can use the whip stitching method in order to put these together. We do have tutorials available on that for whip stitching in order to do the joints, and if you prefer other types of joints, you know, the creativity is up to you. So sky is the limit, so grab your 5mm size crochet hook and equivalent yarn in order to work this pattern today. So yarn choices are completely up to you. I'm going to use this light green today, 5mm size H crochet hook today. So we're going to chain 4, and let's do that. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, and insert that hook there into the beginning chain, yarning over, pulling through and through to form the center ring of your motif. So let's begin the first round. We're going to do a beginning cluster to get us started, and then it's clusters from that point forward. So the beginning is just has a weird start, so that's why it's called a beginning cluster versus a regular cluster. So let's do that. So we're gonna chain 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we need to, this is a beginning cluster, so we need to do 2 more kind of like post ideas in order to finish off this cluster. So to do that, you're gonna yarn over and go into the center of the ring, and you're gonna yarn over and pull back. Then you have 3 loops on the hook, so yarning over and pulling through 2 and hold it. Don't go any further. So then you're gonna continue and you're gonna wrap the hook again and going into the center of the ring, pull through, and then pull through 2. Okay, so that's your beginning cluster right there, and you're gonna yarn over and pull through everything. Okay, so there is your beginning cluster as you see it. So we're gonna move to the next cluster. In order to move to the next cluster, we have to chain 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, and we come down and we do a cluster again. So let's do a cluster. So we're gonna wrap and going into the center of the ring. So this is a regular cluster, no longer a beginning, and we're gonna pull through and pull through 2 and hold. Then we're gonna do it again. So wrap and in, pull through 2 and hold. Then wrap and in, pull through 2 and hold. So you've done that a total of 3 times that you can see. Now wrap and pull through everything just like you see. So now what we're going to continue is that we're going to keep moving around. So these are a hexagonal shot, so what you need are hexagonal motif. So you're just going to need 6 of these to go all the way around. So let's chain 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and let's do another cluster. So into the center of the ring, okay, and you're doing the cluster like I already just showed you. So you're kind of like creating 6 spokes on this thing. Once you get all 3 on there, just pull through everything and then continue again. So chain 4, so 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then continue to cluster in so that you totally have 6 of these as you go around. So continue to do that all the way around. So now that I've come almost all the way around, you can count 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. See that? All the clusters are there. And before you finish off, you got to chain 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, and join it to the top of the beginning cluster right over here. Okay, so just join it to the top, and I want you to finish off this yarn. So just get rid of this yarn now, and let's just weave in the ends and get rid of that and bring up another color to continue along. Now if I were you and you were me, what I would do for this entire afghan is make all of these little motifs at the same time. So go and do the next one of this size and then put it aside, and then continue to do that for all the ones that you want, and then come back and then do the next round all together and do them all at the same time. It's just easier instead of having to do each one of these step by step in order to do every motif. So do it like an assembly line. You'll speed yourself up. So let's begin second round. You can go into the top of any one of these. It doesn't really matter which one you're going into, and I would just go into somewhere different than when you always started. I always have this thing about motifs is that I don't like to stop and start always at the same spot. I like to mix it around because it makes it look more even in my point of view. So you're just gonna join it to the top with the slip stitch to the top of any one of those clusters, chain 1 and 1 single crochet in the inside of that same stitch that you just joined 2. So just move that straggler in behind. So now to begin, you're going to chain 2 and you're gonna do a long double crochet into this ring. So you're not going into this space here, you're going all the way back in here. So you're just gonna wrap the hook going into the center of the ring and pulling it through, and you're gonna reef up on it. You're gonna just pull up on it, make it a long one, and then just finish it off as a double crochet, just like that. So now you're gonna continue. So you're gonna chain 2 and you're gonna do 1 single crochet into the top of the next cluster. And guess what you're gonna do? You're gonna do that all over again. So chain 2 and do another long one all the way to the ring. So just wrap it first, going into the center of the ring. If you have to adjust anything, now is the time to do it. Let's try that again. You will get used to doing this as you go. So just going in and pulling it up, and see, I just gave it extra slack and then pulling it through like that. So chain 2, single crochet into the next top of the next motif. So do you see it's kind of pulling these strands down and out of the way. So do it again. So let's chain 2, center of the ring, going in, give it some extra slack, and then pull through 2 and 2, and then chain 2 and go to the next top. So do that all the way around just like you see. So as you come all the way back around, don't forget you still have to do this last one. So chain 2 going in to the last one for a long double crochet down, give it some slack, and then chain 2 and then just join it to the top of the beginning just like you see here. Okay, so we're gonna keep this color on one more time and we're going to go on to round number 3. So using the same color we want to continue. So we're gonna move to the next chain 2 space. So we can't start right where we are. We're gonna go to the next chain 2 space and slip stitch to move over. And we're gonna go and play in these chain 2 spaces all the way around. So to begin, we want to chain 3, which counts as a double crochet, and we want to double crochet 2 more times into that same chain 2 space. So let's do that. So chain, 2 double crochets here, just like you see here. And isn't that neat? And then you have to chain 1 and then go into the next chain 2 space and put 3 double crochets into that same space. Then you're just gonna simply chain 1 and then put in 3 into the next chain 2 space. So you're just gonna continue to do that same thing going all the way around. Just make sure that you separate the groups of 3 with a chain 1. So as you get all the way back around, you are just gonna make sure you chain 1 first before joining it to the top at the beginning, chain 3. So you can actually see a heart formation right in the center. Do you see it? Just look carefully. Do you see it? Isn't that neat? So not only do you see it kind of in the actual this area, but you actually kind of see it as you follow it around. It's neat. So let's get rid of this color. So the next 2 rounds, which are the final 2 rounds, are the main color of your afghan. So you gotta make sure that you're going to use a certain color. This will be the main project color that is the most dominant. So you gotta make sure you choose a color that you think is going to work for you. So let's begin to do rounds number 4 and 5. So let's begin working on round number 4. Super easy round here. So what we're gonna do is that we're gonna start off in any one of these chain 1 spaces. Okay, so see the groups of 3? Just go into any one of those spaces and join. You're gonna join with the slip stitch, chain 1 and 1 single crochet into that same one. This round is super easy. Watch what's gonna happen. You're gonna chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then you're going to come into the next chain 1 space and single crochet. That's all you're gonna do. So chain 3, 1, 2, 3, next chain 1 space and single crochet. Okay, 1, 2, 3, next chain 1 space. Please do that all the way around for round number 4. So let's finish round number 4 together. Just simply you're chaining 3 and then just join it to the first single crochet that you had started with. So you're gonna keep this color, it's the main color, and then we're gonna move on to your 5th and final round in order to complete this motif. So now our circle motif is gonna go to hexagonal in this particular round. So we're now going circle to hexagonal. So to begin, we're gonna slip stitch to the chain 3 first, just like this. And this straggler here, there wasn't a lot to nail it into place. So what I would do is just put it together like it's gonna be part of it, and then you can get it underneath. So to begin, you're gonna chain 3 and double crochet 2 more times into the same chain 2 space or chain 3 space. So you got a total of 3 double crochets. So that chain 3 that you started counts as one of them. And then this is gonna be your first corner. So you're gonna chain 2 and then 3 double crochets into the same space. So this allows it to make that turn. So this round is really quite easy as well. So every other time is going to be one of these, and so the next one here that you see is gonna be just 3 double crochets into it. So 1, 2 and 3, just like this. Then you move on to the next one. So the next one's gonna be one of these just like you started. So you're gonna do 3 double crochets. So 1 and 1, 2 and 3, chain 2, okay, and then 3 double crochet back into that one. So there is another corner just formed. Okay, so then you just jump to the next one. So the next one is just gonna be 3 by itself. So just remember every other one is a corner, and every other one in between those are just a straight edge, just like this. So 3, so the next one is another corner. So just go in 3 double crochet. Okay, you're going to chain 2 and 3 double crochet. So please do that same concept going all the way around, and you're going to convert this circle into hexagonal after you've done this, and you'll notice that it will sit flat once you get all the way around. So this will settle down what you already see. So I'll see you back here in just a moment. So when you get all the way back around, the last space is just a flat edge because you started off with a corner, and the space before this was a corner. So that means that everything's perfect, and then you're just gonna slip stitch to the top of the beginning chain 3 like so. So now you're just gonna fasten off, and now you have your motif done. So there's many ways to do joining, but what it's recommended is just sewing, and if you do a whip stitch on the back loop only on each one of these as you join, you'll have a completely flat afghan. We have tutorials available in our joining section on here on YouTube, so you can actually just do a quick search on our channel and find that. It's called whip stitching, and it's also called the invisible seam, and it really truly is invisible if you go into a back loop of these, and so therefore they'll join perfectly together. So this is how you do the Valentine's throw. You can see it's got a really kind of an interesting look in the middle. You do kind of get that heart-shaped look, and if you did this in the right colors that matches your decor, you'd probably have a really fabulous afghan for your decor in time for love season, aka Valentine's Day. Till next time, I'm Mikey on behalf of the Crochet Crowd as well as Yarnspirations.com. We'll see you again real soon. Bye bye.